Yeah, welcome to TAQWA Ministries YouTube channel. Today we had a special treat with JINJE from Korea, and then also Rabbi Jack. We had it at the Thanksgiving Square. We're about to go in and see the speakers and everything. So man, we got dynamic speakers. We got Rabbi Jack, and we got Master Jin from Korea. They're finna come and do a presentation here at the Thanksgiving Square.
Zen Master JINJE, distinguished guests, friends, I'm Kyle Ogden, President and CEO of the Thanksgiving Foundation. It's my great pleasure and privilege to welcome you this morning to Thanksgiving Square, our home. We are truly grateful to have each of you here with us today. I marvel at the diversity present in the room. At this gathering of people of goodwill, we each bring our unique life experiences, communal cultures, faith traditions, our beliefs and paradigms to this place that welcomes all of us, just as we are. We are indeed fortunate to have such a place in Dallas, Texas, and I am fortunate to get to be a small part of this important institution. Planned in the mid-1960s and completed in 1977, Thanksgiving Square came to life alongside DFW Airport, the Dallas Arts District, the Downtown Library, and the new City Hall. And Thanksgiving Square was intended to provide the inspiration for an evolved civic culture. Today, we continue to work to fulfill that original vision with an updated sense of urgency and purpose. We see the square as a community building resource, something of a renewed civic and cultural backbone. In essence, our goal is to establish Thanksgiving Square at the center of a movement to define a new cultural ideal for Dallas and to give each of its constituents a noble role in pursuing it. We have an important, ambitious plan for the future of Thanksgiving Square that includes spilling out over the walls and into the surrounding neighborhood to create a new Thanksgiving cultural district. The new district will be themed on welcoming and belonging and will endeavor to deliver a one-of-a-kind visitor experience. And of course, we will continue to convene important gatherings like this one today. Zen Master JINJE, we are honored to have you join us this morning. I think I speak for all of us when I say that we have great respect for the wisdom of the Eastern traditions, thinkers, and leaders. I know that you personally have been on a long and contemplative journey to add your own thoughts and ideas to this ancient body of work. There is much for us to learn and emulate in the way you and your followers live your lives. We look forward to receiving your message to us later this morning. In closing, again, I thank you, Zen Master JINJE, and thank all of you for your gift of your time and presence today. Now I'll step aside and invite Rabbi Ben Barad to get our program started. We ask that the other speakers on the program follow along on the agenda and hop up when the person speaking before you completes his or her comments. Rabbi Ben Barad. No, you're going to just get started.
First of all, I want to express my profound thanks to all of you for coming here to welcome a truly outstanding human being and a great leader, and in the Buddhist tradition, probably the foremost authority in Buddhism in the world today. The sad thing is, and I will be introducing him, but I just want to say a few words by way of preparation. The sad thing is that if you look at the media, if you look at TV, if you look at the newspapers, if you look at social media and so on, all kinds of other people are mentioned. Master JINJE is not mentioned. And one of the reasons he's not mentioned is because he's important to us. It's not someone that just appears and then disappears, and before you know it, you don't even know who he was or where he came from. This is a man who's very different, and I will try to explain it in my introduction. I want to say a little bit about the work that I do, which I've done, I hate to tell you for how long, well over 60 years. I mean, I'm 91 and a half, so I'm not exactly young. But the work that I've done basically is to help religions understand God. And that's why this is such an ideal and unique place for us to begin this program of really introducing Master JINJE to Texas, and hopefully I want to be able to introduce a much broader than just Texas. Now, the work that I do is twofold. One is, how can religions appreciate each other and understand one another? Because unless religions unite to be the conscience of society and the voice for humanity, who is going to be the conscience of society and the voice of humanity? But the way for them to do that is to actually try to explain to the other how to best see themselves. So that, for example, it's not do I put myself in the other person's shoes. That's not really the main thing. I have to do that. But with what eyes do you see me? In other words, how do you really look at me? What are your judgments, your prejudices, your understanding of what I am? Now, if we can find ways of talking to one another in such a way that we can appreciate the best in the tradition and use that best to deal with those elements of the tradition that might not be the best. And therefore, we can find ways of working together. Most recently, we've engaged in this scriptural resources for peace. What is the point of that? It's to say, how do we know that the scriptures are translated accurately? The translations, by the way, I mean, I've spent my entire life doing translations of scriptural texts. And I would say a good deal of the translations are simply inaccurate. And even if they are accurate, it's the wrong word, or they have certain prejudgments about how. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, how do I know that it's properly translated? And the second question is, how do I know it's the proper context? Because if I don't understand something in context, I won't understand it at all. And so we've been doing a great deal of work. We've had conferences all over the world. We brought people, we brought imams to Auschwitz twice, and all kinds of things. Because we want to give people an experience of a religious tradition so that they can understand it, and by understanding it, they can appreciate it and work together. The task of our work, and I'm sure it's the task of all of you here, is to find ways in which we can communicate with each other, that we can work together to bring about peace and justice and real understanding in the world. That's our task. And I've devoted my life to that. I think perhaps one of the reasons that I did devote my life to that is because at the age of 5, I was born in Italy. At the age of 5, I was told I could no longer go to school because I was Jewish. And when my father heard that, within a matter of weeks we left. And we went to Switzerland and France and England. And for a 5-year-old to experience that was horrendous. Then when I went back at 13, I saw Palermo, one house standing. And I recognized that the greatest scourge in the world was war. And how do we bring about peace? You can only bring about peace through understanding, by appreciating the really wonderful things that each religion has to offer, and why not work together and find ways in which we can have a society with justice and peace. And I must say, I'm so grateful to you for being here today, to welcome a truly outstanding leader. And I'll say something about that, okay? Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Neil Thomas. I'm the convener of Faith Forward Dallas that meets here at Thanksgiving Square and is a part of Thanksgiving Square. We're a group of clergy, multi-faiths who come together on a regular basis to build friendships and dialogue with one another, to support one another, and to help shape the social conscience of the Dallas City Council and the Dallas city environment, understanding, as Rabbi has already shared, that we are in some ways the conscience. Rabbi, I could hear your British accent, so I'm grateful to be among you this morning. I bring greetings on behalf of Faith Forward Dallas to Zen Master JINJE. I'm grateful for his presence in our city. As I said, Faith Forward Dallas is a group of multi-faith religious leaders in the city. As a Christian leader, this is the season of Advent, and we move towards the understanding of what it means to be light in the world. And it truly is my belief that regardless of our faith tradition or lack thereof, that we as the leaders of conscience in the city are about bringing light and love and hope and peace. And that transcends any particular religion. It reminds us that we are to be imitators of that light, imitators of that peace, imitators of that joy, and imitators of that hope. And in our world today, we need a lot of it. And so I am grateful to be the convener, but I'm more than grateful to be in the presence of the Zen Master JINJE to remind us that together we are much stronger, together we are much better, and together, regardless of our faith tradition, we must be that light today. So I bring greetings and appreciate this opportunity to be with you and to welcome the Zen Master to the city of Dallas. Thank you.
With God's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, I am Imam Omar Shakir, and we bring you greetings from the Muslim community. One of the roles that I play, first of all, certainly to Master JINJE, welcome. To Rabbi Jack Ben Parad, welcome. And one of the roles that I play is I have the honor of convening a body of imams for 4 states, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. And I'm greeting you on behalf of all of them. And I'm also blessed to be connected with the national Muslim community, which is about this work of inclusion and interfaith. With that being said, I just want to simply say to you, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, and peace be unto you. Thank you.
Well, my name is Charles Hark. I've been immigrated to the United States 1970, so it's been about 54 years, and I moved to the Dallas from LA. It was 1978, so even though counting that numbers, it's almost 50 years in Dallas. It's never get wrong. I'm so honored to stand here to welcoming my homeland great master, JINJE, to here. There are about 130 Korean residents in the metroplex, and never had this opportunity. This, I guess, is the first time I ever had. And I myself so honored as a greeting, welcoming him to the Dallas area. Hope everyone enjoyed the great session today we're going to have. If you don't mind, I'm going to speak in Korean. 우리 조계종인가요? 조계종 소신 큰 스님 오늘 달라스에 오셔서 한인분들과 함께 얘기를 나누고 서로 생각을 나눌 수 있는 큰 기회를 주신 것을 영광으로 생각하며 또 그 일에 제가 인사 말씀을 올리게 된 것을 대단히 영광으로 생각합니다. 오시는 동안 모든 것이 다 형통하기를 바라고 모든 것이 잘 풀려나가고 계획하신 일들이 다 이루어지기를 바라고 또 저도 지금 미국 온 지가 54년 됐습니다만은 뭐 54년 별건가요? 뭐 잠깐 눈 떴다 가면 54년 되는 것 같아요. 잠깐 다녀가시는 동안에도 불편 없이 잘 지내시길 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
Good morning. I'm Rabbi Ari Sunshine. I'm one of the senior rabbis at Congregation Shereth Israel here in Dallas, and I've been in Dallas for about 7.5 years. And over my almost 25 years in the rabbinate in Charlotte and in Maryland and here in Dallas, I spent a lot of time, really been very passionate about working with the interfaith community. And just recently, just a couple weeks ago, before Thanksgiving at our synagogue, we hosted the 7th annual Greater Dallas Interfaith Thanksgiving service. A number of folks here were present for a really wonderful evening to share gratitude and share the bond, the human bond, and be able to just take some time together in a world that often feels so fractious and separated. And so it's really a great honor on behalf of the Jewish community to offer my welcome to Zen Master JINJE, and also just offer a brief word of Torah, a brief word from our teaching and our tradition. In this week's scriptural reading from the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, in Genesis chapter 28, we witness Jacob, who is beginning his journey into exile. And at the very beginning of his journey, he is tired, lays down by the side of the road, takes a little rock, lies down on the rock, and falls asleep. And in this unnamed place, he not only has this dream of the famous dream, perhaps you may be aware of Jacob's ladder, with angels ascending and descending, and then he has a revelation. God speaks to him during the dream, and tells Jacob he will be protected in his journeys and be returned safely. And Jacob wakes up and says, surely God was in this place, and I had no idea. Which is to say that this unnamed place, this rest stop on the side of the road that he just says, I'm tired, I'm going to lie down, I'm going to put a rock down and go to sleep. In this place he encountered the divine. And I think that is a really wonderful message for all of us, that in any moment, in any place, and with anyone here in this room and in our human community, we have the opportunity for sacred moments and sacred encounters, the chance to really appreciate each moment that we have, and recognize that we have a chance to create holiness together with the work that we do to improve the world around us, and to do that in partnership and in understanding with people of all faiths. So once again, with great honor, welcome you, Zen Master JINJE, to our community. Thank you so much.
안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 오랜만에 우리 코리안들은 귀가 좀 더 편안하시면 되겠습니다. 오게 됐는데 원래는 제가 달라스에 살고 싶지가 않았어요. 달라스가 아니라 미국에 그래도 살고 싶지가 않았어요.
Hey everyone, she's Edward from the Korean Buddhist temple called Boyeon Temple, Buddhist temple in the Zen Center. It's been 14 years since she came to the Dallas. Actually, she didn't even thought coming to the Dallas.
As I said in my opening remarks, I'm so pleased that you're here to listen to Master JINJE. Keep in mind, I remember the 60s when we used to go everywhere and you had all these sort of pop Buddhists and Hindus and Eastern religions and so forth. And as I said before, they sort of rise and they disappear.
네, 여러 종교 유명한 그런 종교 유명 인사들이 이제 나타났다가 사라지는 그런 일들이 반복되고 했습니다.
But I can say this, that I was privileged to actually go to South Korea when Master JINJE was elevated as the supreme leader.
네, 그 진제 스님께서 큰 스님께서 그 종정 취임하실 때 아주 운이 좋게도 그때 한국을 방문할 수 있는 그런 기회를 가졌습니다.
And when I saw him for the first time and had a chance to speak with him,
네, 처음 뵙고 이제 말씀을 나눌 기회가 있었는데,
I said, "This is a real master.
진정한
He's not just like everybody else."
네, 다른 종교 인사들과는 달리 진정한 신자라서 말씀했습니다.
What a teacher!
너무나 훌륭한
What an
스승입니다.
example! And I was
정말
strictly
본보기가
blown away, you know.
정말 마음이 이렇게 깜짝 놀랐습니다.
In fact, I wasn't the only one. Let me just quote to you
한 가지 읽어드리겠습니다.
what
큰 스님 책에서
Robert
읽었습니다.
Boswell Jr., who is the Distinguished Professor of Buddhist Studies and Director of the Center for Buddhist Studies at the University of California.
캘리포니아 대학의 불교학과 교수님이 버즈웰 그 교수님이 이제 하신 말씀을 조금 나눠보도록 하겠습니다.
This is what he says in his introduction to one of Master JINJE's wonderful books.
큰 스님에 대한 이제 책에서 이제 버즈웰 교수님께서 쓰신 내용인데.
He said, more than 3 decades ago, I had the privilege of meeting and studying with some of the most famous and eminent Korean Son masters of the last generation.
근데 30년도 전에 정말 그 훌륭하신 한국 불교 그 선불교를 수행하시는 큰 스님을 만나는 큰 복이 있었습니다.
He was exposed to the best.
아주 최고의 수행자를 만날 수 있는 그런 기회였습니다.
But then he said, meeting JINJE Sunim is like seeing the last generation come back to life again.
네, 끊어졌던 그러한 그 수행자의 세대가 그 계승되었던 그 전통이 다시 살아나는 듯한 그 스님을 만났을 때 그 전통이 다시 살아나는 듯한 그런 느낌을 받았습니다.
Even in Korea,
한국에서조차도
JINJE Sunim is the last of his kind, and seeing him is like meeting in the flesh one of the classic Zen masters.
네, 한국에서조차도 진제 큰 스님께서는 이런 수행자로서의 마지막 세대, 마지막 대를 이으시는 분이시고 그 올해 그 옛 선사들이 다시 이렇게 그 육신을 가지고 계신 그런 듯한 느낌을 받을 수 있었습니다.
Otherwise found only in books. What we have with us today is an actual life example of an incredible teacher of Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist understanding of how one can achieve one's real self.
네, 자기 참 자아를 이룰 수 있는 것을 이제 참 자아를 이제 발견할 수 있는 그런 수행을 진실되게 보여줄 수 있는 아주 최고의 이런 스승이시라고 생각합니다.
Now he offers a way of doing it, which is not easy.
스님께서 이제 가르치시는 방법은 쉽지는 않습니다.
But anything that's really worthwhile, you really have to work for. It's not something that comes naturally, right?
우리가 이제 얻을 만한 것들은 항상 저절로 얻어지는 것은 아무것도 없습니다.
And he actually says the way to go about it is to ask a question which on the surface seems unbelievable because you don't understand the question. For example, the question that he asked all of us to ask is, what did I look like before my parents gave birth to me? That's the question. Now, wait a minute. How could I have looked like anything before my parents gave birth to me? But he says, and let me tell you, he has something to say here. that if you repeatedly ask that question, week after week, month after month, year after year, woo! All of a sudden something happens and you really have a sense of who your real self. The closest thing that I could come to this, which was what Master JINJE does, is what Einstein did. Einstein said that when he was 16, he asked himself a question. And the question he asked himself is, if I was riding a bicycle at the speed of light, what would the world look like? Can you make sense of that question? How can a bicycle go the speed of light? How can a person go the speed of light? But Einstein asked that question for 10 years. And after 10 years, guess what happened? He came up with the theory of relativity. Now what Master JINJE is saying to you, that if you ask this question repeatedly, over and over and over and over again, all of you can wake up one day and find enlightenment. He is a gem. Now, you know, in the past, people in the West who wanted to be exposed to great wisdom of the East, they would travel. But guess what we were able to do, Marzuk and others? We were able to bring him here. So that's a totally different deal. We're not going there, he's staying here. And it's my joy and delight to introduce Master JINJE.
산성이 그동안 미국을 3번을 방문했고 이번에는 4번째 미국 따라서에 와서 보니 땅도 느리고 온 대지가 편안한 것이 참으로 복받은 나라라는 생각이 듭니다.
I have visited the United States 3 times before, and now on coming to Dallas for the first time, I can't help but feel that this is truly a blessed country. The land is vast, and the entire landscape exudes a sense of peace and comfort.
강한 나라에 세계의 훌륭한 인재들이 다 모여들어서 선정을 하고 못한 것은 즉시 놓고 좋은 것을 헌연히 받아들일 줄 아는 그릇이 큰 사람들이 모여 사는 거로 미국이 세계 제1의 1등 국가가 될 것 같습니다.
So in this vast country, brilliant talents from all over the world gather and govern wisely and promptly let go of what doesn't work while readily embracing what is good. It seems that the greatness of the people have with their open-mindedness has made the United States the #1 leading nation in the world.
한국 2만여 스님들과 2천만 불자들 지도자로서 여기에 모이신 존귀한 지도자 여러분께 평화의 인사와 축복을 드릴 수 있게 이 자리에 초청해 주셔서 대단히 감사합니다.
As the leader of 20,000 monks and nuns and the 20 million lay people of Korea, I'm grateful to be invited here to bring to all distinguished leaders greetings of peace and the blessings of peace.
부처님께서는 인류에게 큰 축복의 가르침을 주셨고 궁극의 깨달음을 제시해 주셨습니다. 그리고 역사적으로 수많은 분들이 체득해 왔습니다.
The Buddha gave great teachings to the world and established the ideal of enlightenment, of Buddhahood, which many individuals embodied throughout the centuries.
우리는 세상의 여러 종교들 간의 지속적인 대화를 통해 자비와 사랑, 관용의 정신을 더욱 심화하고 실질적 이때행의 실천 방안을 모색함으로써 이 세상을 더욱 평화롭고 풍요롭게 만들 수 있을 것입니다.
There is a profound potential for mutual enrichment through dialogue among all the great religions of the world, not merely in the field of ethics and spirituality, which embody compassion, love, meditation, and the enhancement of tolerance, but also in the practice of charity and helping the poor, eliminating ignorance and leading towards understanding and eradicating hunger and disease. And I feel that this dialogue could go very far and reach a very deep level of understanding.
지금 지구촌 곳곳에서는 크고 작은 전쟁을 비롯해서 국가 간, 집단 간 대립과 갈등이 점점 심화되고 있습니다. 서로 상부상조하며 상생하는 것이 아니라 상대를 짓밟고 나와 다른 생각을 가진 이들을 배척하고 있습니다.
Even at this very moment, wars and conflicts between countries and groups, both big and small, are intensifying all around the world. Rather than helping one another and striving for mutual prosperity, we trample on each other and oppress those with different ideas.
큰 지혜와 큰 자비를 갖추어 인류 평화에 큰 공헌하리라 확신합니다.
What's more, if all humanity engages in spiritual practice in daily life to find their true selves, they will finally arrive at the original home of their hearts. There, great wisdom and compassion will arise, enabling them to achieve world peace.
그렇다면 개인의 진정한 행복과 마음의 평화는 어떻게 해야 성취할 수 있을까요?
So, how can you attain true personal happiness and inner peace?
금일 산성은 여러분께 모든 종교 사상을 초월하여 각자의 참나를 깨달아 진정한 행복과 세계 평화를 이룰 수 있는 한국 가나선이라는 훌륭한 수행법을 소개하고자 합니다.
Today, this Buddhist monk would like to introduce you to an excellent practice from Korea called Ganason, which helps individuals realize their true selves and fosters true happiness and world peace.
모든 사람들이 부모로부터 이 몸을 받아서 지금 이렇게 나다하며 살고 있습니다. 그러나 이 몸뚱이는 100년 이내에 썩어서 한 점 흙으로 돌아가고 나면 아무것도 없습니다. 그러니 이 몸은 참나가 아닙니다.
Everyone received this body from their parents and lives their lives thinking of themselves as me. However, within 100 years, this body will decay and return to dust, leaving nothing behind. Thus, this body is not the true self.
그렇다면 부모로부터 이 몸을 받기 전에 어떤 것이 참나입니까? 부모에게 나기 전에 어떤 것이 참나인가? 이것을 일컬어 하두라고 합니다. 이 하두를 해결하기 위해 오마의 불망 생각하고 의심하는 것을 가나선 또는 참선이라 합니다.
What is my true self before I was born to my parents? What is my true self before I was born to my parents? This question is known as hwadu in Korean. Engaging honestly and sincerely in thought and doubt to resolve this hwadu question is called ganason or chamjeon in Korean.
그러니 참선은 꼭 앉아서만 하는 것이 아닙니다. 일생생활하는 가운데 가나오나 앉으나서나 산책을 하나 온갖 시기 질투 교만 탐심 원한심 등 중생심이 서서히 사라지고 하도 한 생각만 흐르는 물과 같이 끊어지지 않고 흘러갑니다. 그러면 마음이 편안해지고 다툴 일이 없고 성낼 일이 없습니다.
So if you practice this meditation Consistently in this way, other sentient beings such as envy, jealousy, pride, greed, and resentment will gradually fade away, leaving only the single thought of the white question to flow uninterruptedly like a stream of water.
그렇게 하도 일념에 푹 빠져서 일주일이고 한 달이고 흐르다가 호련히 사물을 보는 찰나 소리를 듣는 찰나에 하도가 박살이 나면서 자기의 참나가 언히 드러나게 됩니다.
A week or a month may pass, immersed in a single thought of the one question, and then suddenly, at the moment of seeing an object or hearing a sound, this one question will break apart, revealing one's true self.
이긴 개개가 스스로 참나를 깨달아 마음의 고향에 이르면 거기에는 온갖 시비 갈등이 다 끊어 없어지고 이래가 같은 밝은 지혜가 열리는 동시에 대안락과 대자유, 대자비를 수용하게 됩니다.
When each person realizes their true self and reaches the home of their heart, all dispute and conflict dissolve. Wisdom brighter than the sun is revealed, and in that moment, they can experience immense joy, true freedom, and a profound compassion that springs forth from within.
전 세계 모든 지도자 여러분, 전쟁은 모든 이들에게 크나큰 고통과 깊은 상처만 남길 뿐 그 누구에게도 어떠한 이익도 주지 않는 가장 쓸모없고 악한 것입니다.
To all leaders around the world, war is the most futile and destructive force, causing great pain and deep wounds to everyone, and it brings no benefit to anyone.
수많은 무고한 생명들이 희생을 당하고 삶의 터전을 송두리째 파게 되고 사랑하는 가족을 잃은 그 비통한 심정은 감당할 수 없는 고통을 안겨줍니다.
Numerous innocent lives are sacrificed, living spaces are utterly destroyed, and the heart-wrenching pain of losing a beloved family member is unbearable.
만물의 영장이라는 인류가 이러한 어리석은 짓을 해서 되겠습니까? 눈을 크게 뜨고 보면 모두가 나의 부모요 형제요 자매인데 이렇게 그들에게 총칼을 겨눌 수 있겠습니까?
Should humanity, the master of our creation, commit such a foolish act? If you open your eyes and then you will see that everyone is your parent, brother, and sister. How could you ever point a gun at them?
산성이 정민은 1967년 한거 해제 이래 한국의 묘간음사 법당에서 한국 선사에게 법상에 오르시어 자정을 하고 계시는 차제에 산성이 나아가 예산발을 올리고는 선사님께 한 가지 묻고자 합니다. 모든 부처님과 모든 성인들이 아신 진리는 묻지 아니하거니와 모든 부처님과 모든 성인들이 알지 못한 심오한 일구를 한마디 일러주십시오 하고 물었습니다.
At the end of the summer retreat in 1967 at Myo-Ganimsa Temple in Korea, while my master, the most venerable Hyanguk, was seated at the Dharma seat as ages in the Buddha's land.
천원 만원 모인의 하니 우가야당 주스심이라 심오한 진리를 천 가지를 말하고 만 가지를 말해야 그 진미를 아는 이가 없으니 가을비가 많이 내려서 농사 짓는 못에 가득 꼬이니 가을물이 맑고 맑아 유달리도 깊더라. 대단히 감사합니다.
1,000 speeches and 10,000 lectures of a profound truth, no one knows the true flavor. As autumn rains come and fill the pond, the water becomes crystal clear, seeming especially deep. Thank you very much.
I think we have time for just a couple of questions if anybody would like to ask Zen Master JINJE a question.
All together, all the religions coming together, and we trying to show people that we all got something in common, that we worship one God. So we got all the guys. We got 2 days, 2 more days of events. So we escorting them in the van. We got the Jack, the Rabbi Jack and his wife, and Master Zen Master in my brother's car. So we're gonna go have lunch. So man, it's a wonderful thing. And I thank God for me being in this situation. I thank God for this band, man. If it wasn't for the band, man, we wouldn't have no room for them. So thank God for that, and we'll be back with more content. Like and share. Thank you, and bless you. Have a